Ryan, and we have a special guest that we want to talk to. It's somebody that we've had a little bit of doings with in the past, and it is Bob Ryder and also Patrick Carhart. They've become pretty good friends over the last few months and everything. And today we want to they are with Olive Branch Aquaponics. I want to open it up by letting them know that. And today we want to just talk a little bit about that aquaponics is not just about growing lettuce. And I'm going to turn it over to Bob here. But before I do, I want to say something. I got to visit Olive Branch Aquaponics, and I was amazed at what I learned. And when he says that it's not just about growing lettuce anymore, he really means that. Walking around, seeing how everything was so synergistic with each other, one thing feeds another, and it's a big loop that feeds the entire farm. As a matter of fact, we could call it the heart of the homestead, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so, Bob, now I'm just going to kind of take us back just a little bit. To when we were walking around the farm, and the first thing I got to do is I got to see the livestock and everything in the fowl kingdom, and got to see the fish, the ones that were in the pond, and we got to see how everything on that farm was sipping from the rich nutrients of everything that was in the aquaponics setup.
Yep.
And so since that time, I know that you guys have grown some elderberry trees, right?
Yeah,
Some elderberry starts?
Yeah, since you were there, we've started 2,400 elderberries. And 3 months ago, started them out just as sticks. And today they're, a growing plant in pots with a good root system and all, just in 3 months' time. But we've started 2,400 of them.
And what size of a footprint did that take?
That was in a 480 square foot footprint greenhouse with the aquaponics system, and that accommodated comfortably the 2,400.
And so they were getting all of their nutrients then from the
fish
the
waste
medium,
water, the water coming into the media that they planted in, converting that fish waste into the nutrients.
Okay, and so that was in that independent system that we were in last. What was it, October?
Yeah, I think it's
September,
October.
Something like that.
I have the two greenhouses. The one larger one we do our research in, and then the other one, which we called the Oasis Project, which is the 20 by 24, 480 square foot one.
Yeah,
that's the one we put.
But that's amazing. Now, folks, whenever I walk through this aquaponics setup, we started at one end of it and walked two sides of a very long. What were those? Were what, 40 or 80s?
100-foot long.
100-foot long.
And each one were 20-foot wide.
20-foot wide. Total. So 100-foot long by 40 wide.
4,000 square foot.
And walking through the front of that, I was amazed at everything that he showed me that would grow in an aquaponics farm. Now, one of the things that I remember, Bob, that you told us, whenever I had asked you the question about, did you do this research for a university?
Yeah, and it was through Langston University that we done research for. And that particular test was on romaine lettuce, how quickly it would grow, how quickly the fish grew, and some different research was done on that.
Right. But you know what? There was something that you told me that really hit home with me about, well, really, I do that research there, but I do it for the people.
Yeah, this everything we do is for the people. It's to feed God's people. It ain't something to make our name or to make us big or rich, whatever. It's the knowledge that we get through this, we want to share with everyone out there, because we think it's important to our future to be able to eat for everybody, and we want to teach everyone we can how to do it yourself, to sustain yourself.
That's right, and that's really important. And with that being said, we are at the 2024 OKIE Homesteading Expo here. I don't know if you can see it up there on the background or not, but um, we're surrounded by a lot of like-minded people. And just before this, Bob and I was talking, and he was saying about how everything was, you know, people are becoming aware. They're growing, right? They're this community
Yeah,
is getting bigger.
getting better.
Yeah. And so, people like Bob here is largely, you know, the reason people just like us, like Ryan, like Patrick over here, we see what's going on in the world. We're not going to talk a lot about that, but we are going to say that people are awake,
They're waking
right?
up. Yep.
And we want to have this independence, right? We
Right.
want to have the ability to take care of ourselves, but we also realize that we can't take care of ourselves without other people.
Yeah, it's going to take us
Right.
all together
It
to
does.
do this in the big picture and all.
Right. Yeah. So we're, as a matter of fact, our hashtag that we are behind this year is on the back of our shirts, but it's stronger together. Hashtag stronger together, because we are stronger together as a community. And
Yeah,
Bob,
we're each one just a piece of the puzzle.
That's it. We're
to
a piece
make
of the
whole
puzzle.
picture up.
Right.
It's just a piece of the puzzle that you want.
Right. So if any of you guys out there are considering aquaponics, or maybe you've tried it and maybe you failed at it like I did, I lost my fish, broke my heart. I didn't try again.
Well, I failed quite a few times too, and I still fail sometimes. But that's how we learn. And that's how we learn to get it better too, and to get it done right. Because the way I think right now is better to fail now than later down the road when we are dependent on it. So failure ain't that bad of a deal, But
well, failure is how we learn. But I'll tell you one thing: if I start up aquaponics again, I won't be doing it without these guys backing me up.
We're here to help. We're not here just to sell you a system. We're here to teach you and help you do it.
Right. And of course, Patrick is his right-hand guy over here, very knowledgeable about all of this. And I've sat down with these guys, and we've had some pretty off-the-air, good, lengthy conversations that, it just let us know that there's a lot of us out there, who work together to make America. I almost hate to say it, great again.
Great again.
I don't want to steal anybody's thunder or anything like that.
Yeah, we got to do our part to help.
Right, we're just one piece of the puzzle. Right, bro. You got anything you want to ask these guys?
I'm going to talk a little bit.
I'm hogging the phone.
That's okay. I've been doing it all day. I've been doing this, so he got his time behind the mic. He's going to go with it. That's all right. Me and Bob were talking just a little bit ago before, and I was asking him about whether certain things could be grown, and what I have discovered between the interviews from before and our conversation together is that literally it's the imagination is the only thing limiting what you can grow in that.
Right.
And the seasons, one of the things that stuck out from the docuseries when we did that was there's 4 seasons when you do it this way. And it really kind of was a big deal to me. Now, Bob, I know y'all do stuff, teaching and helping everybody, and you go out and that's a business.
Right.
But y'all do some mission work with this stuff too, right?
Yeah, we do a lot of mission work with it. I go to Africa about every 3 years and put in some systems for some orphanages and some refugee camps. And it's grown over the past few years, which, the desperation over there is even growing over the years and all. But yeah, we're lucky enough to get to go over and help other people too, other nations and countries and all. And,
that's
it's pretty rewarding.
I know when we first, last year when we, 9 months ago when we talked with everybody here, that statement that there was this mission to feed people, to teach people how to feed themselves, and it always brings back that old adage, you give somebody a fish, they eat for the day. You teach them to fish, they eat for a lifetime. And I think it's the same thing with growing. And I know, like down there where y'all are going, and even some of our places here where water's an issue, or it's a harder environment to grow in, and so where the aquaponics kind of takes that away. But I just want to say I appreciate that work that y'all do in teaching others And that's kind of a thing with the community that they're a part of, and us, that, sharing knowledge and sharing information is such a huge part of it. You don't find selfish people in this environment out here, because if they are, they're not going to last. And
they won't be around long.
So we brought up about some of the things changing a little bit, and me and you were just talking, where things are changing, where gardening in your own backyard is becoming a problem in certain places.
There's certain places in the United States right now where you're limited to what you can do in your own backyard for growing. I felt like they're trying to put a stop to it, and we can't let that happen. I mean,
well, that comes through communication. That comes through people being aware of what's going on. And, getting the word out about that. But I was over at y'all's booth earlier, and I seen that tilapia that you told me about. That, folks, if you're out here at the expo, or if you get a chance, swing by Olive Branch Aquaponics booth. They have got a monster tilapia over there in that thing. I've never seen one that big.
Oh, I can get him twice that size.
Oh my goodness gracious, that is crazy. Scares me for what could be done in that tank. I don't know.
It's amazing what you can do.
It fascinates me. Like I said, I was just the different varieties of things that can be grown, and it's like I'm inspired, but it's like, man, I don't know where to start with this stuff. And
well, like this year, the speaking I got to do, I'm not going to focus so much on how aquaponics works, but what you can do in aquaponics, because it used to be here was just about fish and vegetables, fish and lettuce, but we've proven so many things where now it's fish and vegetables, and then now it's your fertilizers for outside. We're even producing our own livestock feed for the animals on the farm. We're doing so much more with it that aquaponics ain't just about lettuce and fish. Now it's about the heart of the homestead and how it can affect the whole homestead.
Yeah, I was quite fascinated when some of the things that y'all do with the pond water and those types of things, where it cleans it out with the clams. Yeah. And then the fertilizer and just that whole cyclic system, and the fact that you want to put the garbage man out of business because you're reusing everything.
That's one of our mottos: is when the garbage man comes to pick up the garbage, there's nothing to pick up.
Right. And so I mean that's as green as you can get right there when you're just turning that back around, and with the fertilizer shortage that we've had, to be able to make your own or to be able to generate that through that system, it's just another tool in the tool belt to be able to help us be more sufficient.
Right. You got anything you want to add to that?
Not really. We just want to make sure that people aren't held hostage to the marketplace.
Right.
So so it doesn't take an awful lot of space either.
Right.
So figure out what your needs actually are going to be, but plan ahead for a lot of this stuff. You don't have to do it right now, but start thinking about it, because at some point it is going to become important.
Right.
For you, for everybody on an individual basis.
Yeah. Yeah. So what Bob was, what Patrick was saying here is that depending on what your needs are, I was afraid that your microphone went up quite high enough there, but what your needs are, just figure out what kind of space that you need, and then find a way to do it. And if you don't succeed the first time around, don't quit. Keep going. And I especially want to put an emphasis on what he just said about not becoming dependent upon the marketplace. All right, I'm talking about break the chains, like me and my brothers say. We're all a part of the food supply. Well, not just the food supply chain. I guess it's the food supply chain, but not in a scientific way. No. But I'm talking about where all of these systems are. Well, we've seen in the past that those systems can break down, and I haven't seen anything that tells me that it won't ever do it again.
It's going to.
Right. And as a matter of fact, most people think that it will go to. And so, starting something, whether it be aquaponics or growing in raised beds or growing wicking tubs or however you decide to do it.
Don't feel like you ain't got the room to do it, because we even got a little system that we teach and put up for people that have balconies on apartments. We got a little system that grows quite a bit of food just on a balcony.
That's right. So even an aquaponics system.
An aquaponics system. It doesn't matter what room you got. We got something that'll fit that need, no matter how small.
That's where
or
you
big.
Started with a little small system,
a little bitty one.
Experimenting with that, and you guys grew into what you are today.
My front porch to right now about 5,000 square feet and about 20,000 gallons of water.
There you go, folks. There it is. And so, anyway, I just want to take a second to say thank you to Bob and Patrick for,
Thank you for having us.
coming out and participating in the expo, and and being gracious enough to sit down with me and Ryan and the Farm to Table Direct Show. And if you guys think that you might like to come out here and see what's going on, I promise you won't be disappointed.
No.
Not too late. We still got all day tomorrow and the rest of today. A lot of stuff to do out here, a lot of food out here, a lot of vendors, and there's a lot of teachers out here. Bob and Patrick being just one of those. So anyway, till next time, guys. Remember what we did last time? You told me to send it in. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Prepare for the unexpected and keep it local. See if we can get it right this time. What do you think? So we're going to sign off like we always do. This is Ryan and Keith with the Farm to Table Direct Show. And as we always say, prepare for the unexpected.